Okay, so as just I have already mentioned for this classes we recorded. Okay, so for those who are available, then you can turn on webcam as I'm going to start class with about 30 to 5 minutes. Okay, so let's see about today what we are going to have in this chapters is about the strategy for the management process in e-business. As this also has been posted to your Google Classroom, okay, has been posted to the Google Classroom yesterday. So later you all can uh, download from the Google Classroom for today's topics. Yeah. Okay, and then for this, just direct start. Okay, for those who are followable now, you can just direct follow. Now, this is going to be mentioning about how to prepare strategies that we will use in implementing the e-business. So, if you roughly to say, this is like the step. Okay, the step as how we want to prepare the strategy when we are going to apply. Same thing as I used to make an example here, like um, when you are going to the end of the years of the studies that you do your end of paper, right? Now, end of paper here, I mean your final paper. Okay, so you will do what you call final paper. You will have to do what's that research, okay, and then you will have to do research. You have to find methodology, right? And then you need to test your research, your data. In the end, you will do evaluation. Okay, I mean to find out whether your research has been considered as um, accurate. Okay, so back to this is also the same. Okay, back to this is also the same. So here is mean talking about what kind of strategy that will be used, okay, in order to execute, okay, to implement the electronic business process. So there will be having what kind of strategy that they have to use, they have to think about, and then they also need to know how are they going to implement it, okay, what kind of methods, concept that they need to use to implement it, and then evaluate. So that's why there will be the step, there will be the step that later we will discuss each of them, and we will see basically what we have to do in this strategy process. Okay? But still having access to the web is an essential for SME. SME here is mean small and medium, yeah, okay, small and medium enterprise, owning a fax machine and a telephone. So here, fax machines, telephone is going to be it's going to be one of the tools, okay, it's tools that need to be used in order to set up business, small business. So SMEs usually have limited material and human resource there. As you, let's say you are having an idea to start your business, your e-business, okay, maybe the first that in your mind is how are you going to explore, promote, and distribute your product. But maybe, okay, but maybe you don't really have to concern so much about materials, tools, then human resource, that you currently might need. Okay, so I think you have to concern is mean you can how can you direct sell? Okay, how can you direct sell your product? Okay, now they say SME usually have limited material and human resource. Okay, so this authors state that successfully e-business solutions are still within the reach of these companies. So thinking strategically about e-business, managers can select technological solutions that support the company business strategy and then create a value for the company and customer. So here, e-business concept components, we are mentioning what? E-commerce, right? One of them, and the e-marketplace, remember? And then what else? Include business intelligence, yeah, like customer services, customer relationship management, right? And then uh, customer relationship management, and what else? Supply chains management, right? So here, that's mean we start to talk about small business, yeah, we try to we start to talk about small business, so it means small and medium. So we are not going to bother with the large organizations class. Okay, small one first. Okay, small and medium. So from the small and medium, that will be the starting. Okay, that will be the starting. Like you on, if you want to start, you are considered small, right? Small one, then you start from the small and then you go to the medium. As at the same time, it's mean mm, you have a complete components that to support you to go for the medium size of the enterprise. Okay, so here, no matter how starting from the small going to the medium, there will be always about the strategy, the strategy that you need to think. Otherwise, it is quite difficult to expand, to explore or make the business to become larger. Okay. Now, small or medium-sized enterprise SME, okay, they adopt an e-business model. They must often make significant changes in their business process, and then the way how they interact with the customer and suppliers. In the integrated system business intelligence, we always have what customer and suppliers. Yeah. So with the customer, that's mean what they call CRM. Yeah, is it customer relationship management? So that will be the ones that they use. And then supplier. Okay, you have supplier, supply chain management. So these two object is going to be the ones that used to connect with your small, even your small or your medium sizes of enterprise. Now, can you imagine like uh, you got a lot of suppliers, your demands and all those suppliers to support for your productivity or services and anything that you call suppliers. Now, this kind of thing is not going to be success if there is no customer, right? Now you got many customer, a lot of customer, a lot of demands, but you cannot find a proper or the right suppliers to support your business. So this both also cannot be conducted properly, right? So it means they are connected. Okay, they are connected. So business process and then how you interact with the customer and the suppliers will be the package. Yeah? It's like the whole. It's like one package. Yeah? In order to support your e-business, but you will need a strategy. Okay, you will need a strategy as how you can use to conduct. Okay, so without having this, definitely it's difficult. Yeah, it's difficult to conduct unless um, unless you don't have a purpose or intentions to explore. Okay, so maybe you don't have to bother so much, or else you have to really concern. Okay, like small one or individual starting from this enterprise, and then how are you going to even like explore to becoming bigger. Okay. So failure to plan for these changes could threaten the existence of the enterprise, which is why the strategic planning is so important. Okay, so here, um, forget about sizes, yeah, because we are here talking about SME. So forget about the sizes of like large organizations or big organization. No matter how you start, you there will be always think about the change, the strategic planning as how you are going to as how are you are going to start your business. And the e-business strategy management process illustrated is based on traditional model. Okay, what's meant by traditional model? It's like how is it illustrated? So it's maybe we take from a traditional process. Okay, so all of you, just I mean, if your families or parents who are doing a business, offline business, let's say for offline business, okay, now you should you should evolving with a strategy management, okay, and then like customer and suppliers, this definitely will be, yeah, they will be evolving. So I guess uh it is not going to be something new. Okay, it's not something new, but definitely you will face it. Okay, now the e-business here is mean they are not considered something new. Okay, they are just a different platform. Okay, all of us used to have offline and then now move to the online. This is a different platform. Okay, but the strategy management, okay, the strategy management is actually explore from or illustrated from the traditional model. Okay, so how the traditional model they do, how the traditional model they implement is mean how we are going to implement in the e-business. Okay, in the I mean in the electronic business in the online form. Okay, but then this is also not really going to be what's that? This is not going to be also something like very complicated, yeah, because all of us already have the concept. Okay, we already have the concept. So this concept is just like we interpret them into the what's that e-business platform. Okay, so that's why here we emphasize that the process is illustrated based on traditional model. Okay, based on traditional model of a strategy management. It's not like creating something new. Okay, it's not like creating something new. But then this can be, this still can be conducted using the e-business strategy process. Maybe we can include like some of the new trend of management strategy process that we can use to support. Okay, yep. So that will be the SME, the SME that we used to conduct, which is not come up with something new. Okay, but we do based on the basic traditional one. Okay. Yeah. How we explore, yeah, this is mean depends on the latest technology. Like we used to come up with digital startup, right? Yeah. Everybody now very fond of and also very familiar, yeah, especially like all of you as a young entrepreneur should be very familiar and also have lots of ideas about the digital startup, right? So come to this one next week. Something new that you would like to explore and you would like to use and you would like to learn to use it. Okay, to explore it. Okay, and that is what the new process is coming. But if you see like if you think about like how this digital startup the system can be appear, definitely that will be based on a lot of traditional model kinds of process. Okay, it's just like now how they try to enhance and then explore it, develop using a new strategy, which has been like the electronic platform. Okay, so that would be the strategy, yeah, the strategy as how we need to think, and then now we can see the systematic process. Okay, the systematic process here we will have four. Okay, the first is analyze the external and the internal environment. The second is they select what will be the best strategy. The third is after select we implement, right? And then the fourth is we evaluate, yeah, we evaluate the success of the e-business. So just now in the very beginning, I already mentioned it's like when students are going for their final paper. Okay, so they will find out like what they want to do for the research, right? So I think now also yeah, now because you are not in the fifth semester, right? Yeah, I think can also, yeah, think about like what do you think would be the research that you are going to you're looking for, yeah? And then I mean this few semester to go, right? And then what strategy that you want to find, what method, let's say what method that you are going to use to do your research, right? Now after that, you will implement your method. Implement is mean you will do your data execution, right? You will process you will implement it, you will see the result, right? Yeah. So the result must, of course, the result must be able to prove that, must be able to prove that you do the right research, okay, and your research can give benefits, okay, because otherwise, if cannot support, that means your research will consider, yeah, we consider like maybe cannot fulfill the requirements, or maybe like useless. Okay. Now the last one is mean evaluate the success. So the last one is mean the conclusion. Okay, like the conclusion and recommendation. Okay, why you need to how you do this research, and then based on the research result, what you suggest. Okay. Now let's say for example, we got this business strategy already. We apply after we apply, sorry, after we choose, we apply, we implement. After we implement, of course, we can evaluate the result, right? Then after you evaluate the result, then you can see whether this strategy is good or not, and this strategy can be explored, can be developed or not. Okay, so uh, all of this step is considered all in one. Okay, so we cannot just direct choose the strategy without analyzation. And then after you analyze, you select the best strategy you need to implement. Okay, because if you don't implement, you cannot get the result, right? So after you implement, you need to evaluate the result, because if you don't evaluate, you don't know how big the result effect, yeah, on your strategy. Okay, so that's why each of these is considered work together. Yeah, they are considered work together. So it means the step is correctly that you have to start from the first analyze, then go to the strategy, implement, then only you evaluate. So that one, okay, I think this one we need to change later. Yeah, that one is number four. Yeah, okay, not number one, right? Mhm. Okay, so we continue this. The first step is about analyze. Okay, so we analyze the company external and company internal. Okay, so in the traditional strategic planning model, manager identify company strength and weakness, and also the obstacle and also opportunities. Now they are then ready to make strategy decision that seek to balance their company competitors with the business opportunity around them. So this step is equally crucial for e-business planning. So that's why they put in the very beginning. It's mean analyze all the internal and external environment. Okay, it's mean like your what will be the what kind of business. Okay, and then think about the company's resources. Okay, what you have, and then how are you going to compete? Find out your strength and your weakness, your weaknesses, and then see any opportunity, yeah, in this business environment. Now the next one is mean for the external one. Okay, balance. Find out balance about the company's competitors. Learn about their competitors. Okay, and then find out a strategy. Do more research on your competitors, or also market. Okay, or surrounding your markets, and see whether how big opportunity for you to execute, because you have to set up the external and internal environments before you can before you can start with the business. That one will be the most important. Okay, so that will be the ones that you need to consider. Okay, especially find out, start from internal first, because internal will be the one that we use. After the internal, then we can mention about the, okay, after the internal one, then only we go to the external. So from there, we can have we can have more understanding, we can have more preparation about the internal and external condition. Then only you choose the strategy. Okay, because without having understanding, a clear understanding of your external internal environment, this might give you a wrong, what's that, wrong decision, when you take the when you choose the strategy. Okay, because every strategy is really must be really based on your understanding and the clear how you clarify all those situation and condition from external and internal of your organization. Okay, so that's why this roughly we put on the very beginning. Okay, so that will be the one that we the first step, on how to analyze. Analyze first. So that's why in the like student will do their final paper. What they do basically, they choose, right, find out title, what they want to do, why they want to do the research. Okay, and then what make them wants to do this research, right? So they need to find out first. They need to analyze first, right? Then only they choose their method. It's like this one. Only I choose. Only I choose the strategy. Okay, so that will be the step. Now, and then the next one is select the electronic business strategy. Yeah, after you already find out all the situations, external and internal environments, then the next one is the selection of the e-business strategy. Now, this one will require a solid knowledge on how e-business can actually create economic value. Successful SME know how to identify the scope of their activities, and then they can determine which product, clients, and geographic markets that they should target. So they also know how to set a clear and measurable goals. So understanding all the ability, the availability, okay, and the appearance of your internet external, then you can start to plan and set up a strategy on how are you going to market. Means like understand about your products, how to deliver it, then how to control productivity, then who will be the clients, means the customer, okay, and then how you going to how are you going to conduct, with your customer by like having CRM relationship, how can you create a good relationship, and then marketing. So for the local location on how product is going to be marketed. So this one will be the strategy, strategy that they have to use and they have to think about. Now, basically, in this part, it's going to be a very critical because this is going to be used. This is going to be used very. It's going to be used very strictly. Yeah, okay, it's going to be very strictly in order to support this the strategy, the strategy of the e-business. Um, Basically, it's like how we trying to cover at the very beginning after we choose the strategy. We must really have we must really have a good understanding on how we are going to implement, because halfway to the implementation, this one sometimes will not be able to give a good result, and we are not going to we cannot guess like we just execute for this strategy and then later only we see how the result. Okay, um, basically this cannot be executed like this, all right? Because choosing the strategy is going to be a very main part. Okay, so if you don't set to be the proper one, yeah, this sometime maybe somehow when you implement it, you will facing a lot of difficulties. Okay, so that's why put this to be in the very beginning. Okay, put this to be in the very beginning. So we all, I mean, we really concerned. We really 100% focus on the strategy before we implement it. So this one only can really have and give a good result. Okay. So this is the second second part and the strategy on how. Okay. So that's why before we go to the implementation, that means we must really put a very good strategy, a good preparation. even though for some difficulties or some problems facing, this also must be able to solve in the very beginning. Okay, so it's mean that before you fight, this means you really already made a good strategy. Okay, so that is what I mean. Yeah, for the strategy in the second step. Okay. Okay. So far, before we continue to the next, is there any questions, class?
No, sir.
Okay. So clear. The first one, you analyze everything you need, everything you don't have. Then the second is you choose the strategy, you plan, you set up the strategy. Okay. It's like prepare a strategy that you were going to execute. Yeah? It's like going to the war, you are going to fight, and then you know that this is a strategy. Okay. Now, why you choose this strategy is because you understand already and every single thing in your organization, every single thing in your business environment. You understand already. So you know why you choose this strategy. Okay. Now, the next one is we implement it. Okay, it's mean we execute. If you don't execute, then what for we plan all the strategy already. Yeah? Okay, so this one is mean you implement, you conduct, right? Then you uh, go through the end, yeah, go through until the end of the strategy, and then because after this one, it's mean you need to evaluate. Yeah, that will be the result. Now, defining the target client base and then geographic markets for the new traditional products. SME managers should plan the implementation of their business and then decide what type of technology solutions, supply chains to adopt. Now, come to this part, which means you execute every single strategy that you already planned, that you already set. Okay. So, for example, I want to use CRM. Can I want to use SCM? Can. Yeah. I want to use supply chain management. I want to use the customer relationship management. Can. I want to use what is that? Databases, yeah, to support my customer data. I want to use security and so on, yes, to protect my clients' data from transaction or whatever. Can. So this is mean all the strategy that you already planned and then you implement it. And when you implement this strategy, you have to really implement it 100%. You have to seriously implement it. Okay, so because the results come from here. Okay, the results come from here. So if you don't really make a good implementation, by the end the result will not be like what you expect, and that result also cannot be considered a good result because because implementation is not taking like it's not implemented like 100%. Okay, so very important. Yeah, very important is to think about how the target, yeah, how the target of this is important. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. Okay. So that will be what I mentioned just now. The third step. Yeah. So um, choosing the right one and then implement it. And when you implement it, remember that must be 100%. Okay. We cannot implement just like halfway or maybe not full or maybe not really follow the strategic planning cannot, yeah. Okay, because if you do that, that means your second step of your strategy chosen will be useless. Okay, because you don't really implement it 100%. Okay. Now the next one is about how you evaluate. Okay, now, how you evaluate? Because after we go to the implementation, that will be the result. Okay, and the result is going to be evaluated based on how successful. Um, Depends on your target now. If your target is like 90%, to 95%, right? Then if your result is going to 85%, 87, I think it's good, right? But let's say the target is 100%, and then the evaluate the result is nearly to 50% or 60%. Maybe that one's still very far. Yeah, I mean, very far for your for your target, right? So that's why number four here is like conclusion or something like that. Do conclusion to evaluate the result. Then see is there anything that you need to change, anything that you need to to conduct. Okay, so find out like what makes the strategy cannot reach to 100%, or what makes the strategy cannot reach your target. Right or not? Yeah, because you have a target and you should after you evaluate then you can see okay like how the target can reach. Then if too far, why? If nearly, that's still good, but we will try to we will try to develop again, we will try to explore again until it can really reach to the position. Now and then the acquiring a sound understanding of how to create economic value with e-business, and then determining the firm's desired population manager must finalize object. So because the strategy is going to be the result, so it's been we will find like how is the sales growth, cost reduction, profitability, all those what's that? All those achievement, okay, all those achievement that we use must be really able to support our strategy. Okay, if after we execute the strategy and then it's like no growing, okay, or cost even budget even cannot be controlled. Yeah, maybe this is some problems with the strategy. Okay, and then maybe like they are growing so and then a cost can be conducted, but profit maybe still very far. Yeah, that is also means some problems with the some problem with the strategy. Okay, so this all later need to be evaluated, and then we will see what uh, where is the wrong part, okay, and what is the problems that why we cannot reach the maximum target of our strategy result. Okay, so this one used to be the step, the final step that we use in order to execute. Yeah. Now they must also select indicators that enable them to access the success of business, showing financial, showing the internal process, and then their growth indicators and how they can manage to develop a good process for their business. Okay, so taking from here to be as a conclusion. So here is like when we are before we choosing the first is mean we really understand everything, yeah, every single thing in our organization, and then understand about our external like competitors. Then only start the strategy, yeah, planning the strategy. After planning the strategy, we execute. Okay. Now, when we execute, we must make sure we execute fully. Okay, 100%. Then only we evaluate the result. Okay. So that would be the part. That would be the step. Okay. Okay. Now, say now, just now, we need to evaluate. Yeah, we need to evaluate because we want to find out, you know, if how is the result? Is that already reached reach our target or still far from our target? Okay. So if we already reached target, fine, it's been good. But if it's not reached to the target, how? What should we do? Nicholas maybe can. Uh, yes, Nicholas. Nicholas, are you listening? Yeah, Nicholas.
Yes, sir. What's
Yeah.
up?
So Nicholas, maybe one more one thing. Yeah. We evaluate. Okay, we evaluate. It's mean we know the result whether it's good or not, reach the target or not. Okay. So if you reach the target, that's been good. Yeah, that's been good. How if this? How after we evaluate that they cannot reach the target? Means like target 100%, we only reach 70%. So what do you think, Nicholas? What should you do? Any idea?
We can first find out why first, sir. Why
Yeah.
we cannot reach 100%.
Mhm. After find out, what do you think? What will you
After
do
that,
for the next?
find a solution, lah, sir. Maybe there's something. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you cannot expect everything to work perfectly, that's right.
Now that's mean uh you need to change. Yeah, you need to change the strategy. Yeah, we can do few times. Okay, we can do few times, but when it still cannot reach, that means some problems with the that's really some problem with the strategy. Okay, yeah, so maybe we can find other strategy, then see whether implement again the strategy, and then see whether we can reach the target. Okay, so this is basically what people expect from their strategy. Okay, all right. So I think that's all for today's sessions. Okay, for this topic, as I'm going to spend for around 20 to 25 minutes maximum. So before I end up for this session, okay, for the class, do you also have any questions? Yes, any questions, class?
No, sir.
Okay, all right. So if no questions, then we will stop for today's sessions. And then for the meeting environments, is going to be using for the presentation, yeah, for the test. So here, as the group has been formed already, very nice. So we postpone it, so we got more times to prepare. And then later, we just conduct the presentation for the midterms, yeah, on meeting 11. Okay, so next week I will still back again for new topic. Okay, and during the time,
Yes,
probably
sir.
you all can just prepare for better presentation later in the midterm, that we are going to conduct in meeting 11. Okay, right. So I think that's all for today, and thank you for all your participation. And I will see you again for next week. And stay safe to all of us. Okay, thank you.